morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, B. How's it going?
Good morning. It's going good. How you doing, Butterfly?
I'm good. You up and away over there?
I am. I'm up. I might not be away, but I'm up. I'll give you that one. Give the
All
two
right.
ups. No, I'm good
Two
though. I'm
ups.
good. Yeah. Make sure this light isn't in your way so you can see me. Cool. There we go. But you doing all right?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Got my coffee. Ready to go this morning. So let's make it happen. Let's try to get it in and get it out of here today. Gotta run. Gotta make some things happen today. So
Sounds good to me. I'll make
let's
sure
rock and
everything's
roll.
good on the Instagram live. Y'all, welcome. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram live, welcome to the show. This is the end of season podcast with your beautiful host, the Butterfly herself, the transformative over there, and then her son, me, Brandon the Gladiator Gator. I appreciate y'all rocking with us today. It is another cloudy day in Memphis. Let us know where you're watching from and what the weather's like. Cloudy day is okay with us. That's a good thing. That's mercy. That's rain. Um, but let us know where you're watching from and uh, where you're from and what you're doing and what the weather's like. And what did you do yesterday, y'all? Did y'all take what we read yesterday? Did you use it in your life? Did it show up for you? Did you show up for it? Um, and without further ado, we'll jump into it. Y'all remember that the pick the strong ones? Did you pick the strong road? Did you pick the hard road in order to better yourself as of yesterday? That was the affirmation that we had yesterday. If you guys haven't been here before, we are going through the book Daily Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro. Y'all see mine is a little weathered and torn because I use it a lot. I might have to get another one. But we started this in celebration of Black History Month and extended it from then on until now, every single day. I think this is day 80. Is this day 80, Mom?
Day 80.
Day
Day
80.
80.
Wow, that's a lot. So
Yeah.
80 consecutive days. My mother has been here every single day. I had to go on vacation for a bit, but consecutively, Mom, pat yourself on the back. You've been here every single day. And some of you guys, I think, have been here the majority of the days, if not all of the days. So thank y'all for being here and rocking with us. If you haven't gotten the book, you should, and I'm about to explain why. Daily Motivations for African American Success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. In 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Edelman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches will last you a lifetime. And a quote from Dennis Kimbro said that every thought which enters our mind, every word we utter, every deed that we perform makes its impression on the innermost fiber of our being. So that's what this book is about. It's a daily motivation, a daily quote, a daily affirmation. And we read through it for the first time. We read a fresh reading. We don't read this prior to coming in here, so we don't know exactly what we're going to get. But we do go through it with you together. Back to you, Mom. What you say?
I have started reading it just for
You
my
did?
own sake. I have started. Yeah, because with me trying to pull comments, I just decided that they will get my best if my need is to know. So y'all, as we talk about this, I'm embracing it. Like, okay, when you were out and I didn't know, if I'd have anybody with me, that's when I started so that I could be more prepared
Mm,
in every way. And it has helped me. Like I'm able to soak it in and give more of
Really?
me.
Okay.
So, yep. So my need is to know. So once I did that, I thought, oh, wow, it gives me time to think. I'm a contemplator. It gives me time to think about it, really assess it so that I can bring my best here. But also, with me trying to maneuver comments back and forth, I need to
Yeah.
be, free. So yeah,
Yeah.
I started while you were out. Not
Okay.
everyone, before, but I just have to be prepared. I have to be prepared
Yeah.
best I can.
No, I understand that. And for me, like I really feed off in like
You're an
inspiration.
influencer. You're an
Yeah,
influencer.
I can't help it. I like the spot on.
Yeah.
I would rather do improvisation on music. I would rather do improvisation on writing, on just about everything. And then maybe come back later. But I think I get the best, the freshest, most potent reflections from inspiration, from hearing it the first time. It's like throwing paint at a wall, and always seeing a picture in it.
But again, bringing it back to the life languages, you guys, the life language profiles, the Bluff City Leadership, helping people, not just understand who they are, but how they are. So Brandon's first language is an influencer. My first language is a contemplator,
Right.
right?
Right.
I won't get into what that means, but it did help me realize because I felt some kind of way about not reading it, just knowing how I am, and maybe one day I'll get to that point where I'm okay, but I am better for you if I read it and understand
Mm.
it myself before I try to present it to you. Um, for this time. So, good morning, Mike. Good morning,
Cool.
Brenda. Let's rock with it, Brandon. Let's rock with it. Let's get this barbecue started.
Sounds good to me. All right, so on today, I gotta flip a page in here. So I still have my pen in yesterday's page. So let me go ahead and flip it to the 20th. Today is
I
April
got
the
something for
20th.
you after you read this one. I got something for you. Come on.
Uh-oh. Okay, okay. All right. Fatal Attraction is the title of today. Today's passage titled Fatal Attraction. And our quote comes from Helen Carey, minister at the Christ Universal Temple. And she said, "The only way to catch a cold is to chase one." The only way to catch a cold is to chase one. And the passage goes, "Are you guilty of asking for something that you really don't want? Some people are. Have you ever seen someone come to work with a sniffle? You comment on the sniffle only to have the person respond, 'Well, it just started this morning, but my colds don't get too bad until the third day. And then I can barely get out of bed.' That person is asking for what he really doesn't want. Think of the person who goes to work with a slight headache. Somebody comments on it, and the person responds, 'Well, it's a slight right now, but it always is in the morning. It's not until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon that it begins to kill me.' This person is asking for what he doesn't want. Have you ever looked at your watch late at night as you lay down and said to yourself, 'Boy, I bet I'm going to be tired and feel lousy in the morning'? If you have, then you've been guilty of asking for what you didn't want. It's a shame that we use our imagination in such a negative way when we could use it in a more constructive, positive manner. I am reminded of King Solomon's request to his counselor to tell him something that will make me happy when I am sad and make me somber when I feel too happy. A few days later, this aide gave the king a ring with these words inscribed on it: 'This too shall pass.' Why not try another approach? Talk to yourself in a positive fashion, and you'll discover that it's nice to ask for, and even nicer to get, the things you want. And so the affirmation for today that we read 3 times, one for me, one for you, and one for the person that you're going to send this to, is, I will speak only of those things that I truly desire. I will speak only of those things that I truly desire. And last time, I will speak only of those things that
Things
I
that
truly
truly
desire.
desire.
All right. So
So,
since you read it before, I know you got something all set up and ready
well, I
for us.
thought about this morning. I read it last night, late last night, and I didn't go through it much, but I did read it. But I got up this morning, of course, and I hate to even kind of bring it up, but the weather's iffy. The weather's raining. It's raining and all that here. And I thought about what you say, Mom. When it rains, the internet and all that, it messes up. So that's what I thought about as I'm getting dressed and listening to the thunder and the rain. And I'm like, okay, no, it's not. It's going to be a beautiful time and day. It's raining, but nothing here is going to go wrong. It's also, I thought about how, just as an example, this, especially the ones, I know I'm going to be tired in the morning. I've said that many times. I know I'm going to be tired because I'm going to bed late and all of that. So, simple but sweet. But I did think about how we often talk about when it's raining, what we will get here. We predict what we will get here.
Right, right. And I think it's it's smart, to say, okay, well, the last 10 times it's rained, 8 of those times we had some issues, so let's prepare. But I don't think we have to say it's going to do it, right? And
Right,
I think
right,
that's the trouble. Like, proper preparation prevents poor performance, right? But at the same time, you don't want to project, you know, that failure, or to be defeatist that something's going to happen. But I think, I don't think we should live life with rose-colored glasses. Like, oh, it's thunderstorming outside. I don't need to be careful when I drive. It's like, oh, okay, I should be careful, but I'm going to be fine.
right.
That's
It's
the.
kind of like the difference is what you say, right?
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
speak it. I'm tired rather than I'm tired. I'm going to get some rest.
Right, right,
You see what I'm
right,
saying? Like rather than
right.
saying I'm tired, I'm going to get some rest tonight or
Right.
today.
I'm going to get as much rest as I can tonight.
Right, right.
So,
Rather
so
than
that I
I'm
can feel
tired.
recharged in the morning. So that I
Right.
can. Right. That's
Right,
cool.
right. Because remember the back of the book, every thought, right?
Hmm.
Every action. So those things that we say, the fact we are attracting those things that we don't, or possibly because once you speak it, because it's a thought, right? And you speak it, it's out there, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be your projection. And sometimes, like the guy on the airplane, even if it's not, that's your perception of what's happening. So it starts to happen.
Right.
Like, right,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
right. So, rather than I'm tired, you guys, that's just an easy one that I share doing coaching. Um, I'm I'm tired. No, I'm gonna get rest. Project those things that you want. You want to get rest, right?
Yeah.
We don't have
Yeah.
to say I'm tired.
Right. What else you got? What else came to your mind?
That was the main thing, and then the imagination. It's a shame that we use our imagination in such a negative way when we could use it in a more constructive, positive manner. And that was the example. Instead of I'm tired, I'm going to get some rest today,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Interesting. I like the title is Fatal Attraction. So it's an attraction that you're attracting something to you that's not good for you. It's not
Right.
what you really want. Because what you're really doing is you're highlighting your maybe insecurity about the situation, about something that's going on, or about what you don't want to happen. But that's the thing that from what this passage is saying, that people speak on, that they speak on what they don't want, that they don't speak life into the situation, they don't speak the best for themselves, almost in a setup. Like, okay, because a lot of people's need is to know, right? So if they can say that they can predict what's going to happen, even if it's negative, I think there's some consolation to them in their mind that they knew it was going to happen. You know what I mean? um
Yeah.
and I think that could be our own self-conscious ego, in a sense, saying like, okay, well, I don't know what's going to happen, so this is what's probably going to happen. And it could also be our reactions to, or our expectations for ourselves, right? Our we may really want one thing, but we're used to another, right? Like we our minds are already, I won't say already stuck, but our minds are oftentimes we go back to what we're used to. We go back to what's normal to us. We go back to um, something that we felt before based on a situation. Because who knows, what if you could wake up in the morning, even after getting 2 3 hours of sleep, and feel energized, right? Maybe you could sleep deeper tonight. They call it the REM, the REM sleep, the rapid eye movement sleep, where you're into this deep state of sleep. What if you say, maybe, oh, geez, I see that I haven't gone to bed right now, and it's 3 hours past my bedtime. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna meditate for a moment. I'm gonna take a second and say a prayer. I always get sleepy when I read this one book. Let me read that page so that when I go to sleep, I'm in a deep sleep. Or is there a night routine that you can do to help yourself go into a deeper sleep? But there has to be some other effort that we can do to attract what we want. And I do think it starts at saying something, but I think it, like, putting those words out there. Yes, I'm not going to be sick, even though I have sniffles. But I think even more so, saying that positive thing and then putting action or deed behind it. So if you come to work with a sniffle and somebody says something about it, be like, oh, that ain't nothing. I just stopped and got me some orange juice on the way here. I'm gonna knock that
I'll
thing
be
right
better.
on out. I'm gonna
Yeah,
knock it right out.
right.
You know.
And
So things
Brandon,
like that.
this person was so into now think about this. On the third day, like they had it down to a science. On the third day, this is what happens when I have a cold, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So in life, as you were speaking, I was thinking about what we do is we judge a new day, a brand new day, by an old day, an old situation, or the person that they used to be. So we judge a new day or people, right? Today, in this new season, in this new day, because every day, it's one thing I heard Rodney say. Rodney Jordan, you guys who did the show with me previously, he says, I give everybody every day a new sheet of paper. It's up to them what they write on it.
Mm.
What they write on it is what we'll deal with, right? Is this issue at forth. So he's saying that I'm not worried about, and I know that that's a good thing to think, you guys, so to think, but I know, truth be told, that's difficult to do, but it is worth saying that I'm going to do that, right? So
Hmm.
this person on the third day, let's see, where did they say that? Let's see, that the cold worsens, right? That so they have it down to a science. And so in our minds, we have those traumatic experiences, the things that were fatal for us. We have those recorded,
Yeah.
and we have to be intentional to use the imagination that God has given us to say, no, this is a new day, same God, new day, right? What will I do with this day? How will I serve it? How will it serve me? How will I serve God? Because we can't do it properly if we have the way we handle a cold, the way the cold gets us down to a science. It's the
Right.
same as I'm not tired. I'm going to get some rest. And right, you may be tired, but verbalize, I'm going to get some rest. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat. I'm going to get me something to eat. Whether than you see the transition, the twist, the difference in just the way you say it. Something can happen and we instantly, like I said, talked about the tires. You can have a flat tire. Tires could be 3, 4, 5 years old. You've not checked them, whatever. You can have a flat. Oh, the devil is messing with me. God, where are you? Why did I have this flat? The answer is because tires go flat. Got nothing to do with you. Could and if you want to make it about you, then just say, you know what? I don't know what this is keeping me from. Thank God that He slowed me down or stopped me right here. I'm gonna deal with this tire and I'm gonna get back on the road.
Right.
So
And I think sometimes we you know, we might put the devil and God in it prematurely. And I think God, of course, is in everything, but I think sometimes we use that as a scapegoat, right? Like, oh Lord, oh, the devil on me, all of this. It's like, yeah, God is in everything, but not in the way that we might think all the time. Sometimes we're projecting that as well, right? Like some people will go and they'll want to reach for something, they want to do something, and they didn't study at all, or they didn't prepare at all, and they bomb and they fail, and they say, well, God just must not have wanted that for me.
no,
Right?
you
Like,
didn't prepare.
right. But they put it on God. It's like, that's on God. It's like, no, bro, like that's, you didn't do what you had to do. You don't know what God had for you. But if you don't set that first foot, God could bless you with a huge pasture, a huge garden. But if you don't ever plant a seed, if you don't ever till your land, you cannot expect to walk outside one day and have a full garden full of fruits and vegetables and feed your family. So I think one of the to me the most important part at the end is, why not try another approach? And that takes a decision, that takes a choice, that needs to be made. And this new approach is
Brandon,
talking.
you see that you getting ready to read. I was going to ask you if you read the next line there.
Right,
Okay.
talking to yourself in a positive fashion. Try that. Try talking to yourself positively. Imagine that you are your own coach. You are your own manager. You're your own personal assistant. You are managing not just the career, but the entire life of this person that has your name, looks like you. Separate, if you can, for a moment, the person who motivates you, that's within you, and your actual self. Is there a way you can compartmentalize and say that I have a positive voice inside me, that all that voice does is encourage me? It cannot do anything else but encourage me. I'm going to talk to that person. That's who I'm about to speak with. That's who is controlling my tongue. It doesn't even have
Mhm.
the ability to say anything negative about me. It doesn't even have the ability to say anything that's unsure, right? It doesn't have the ability to be indecisive, right? So speak with that part of yourself, and you'll discover that it's nice to ask for, and even nicer to get the things you want. So even if, let's say, that person goes to work with a slight headache, and somebody comments on it, and the person says, well, it's slight right now, but it's going to go away soon.
Mhm.
I have faith that it's going to go away soon.
Mhm.
I expect for it to leave in just a short time. Now, if that headache stays or persists longer, does that mean you now become defeatist? No. You say,
It's a
yes,
cold. It's a
huh?
cold. Because
It's a
it's a
cold,
cold. That's
or
it's
it's
like
a,
the tire. Tires go flat. Colds are colds.
right, or in this case, the headache. It's a headache. It ain't gonna last forever. I mean, just saying that alone, it ain't gonna last forever. Even if you don't get the timing right, why? Because you ain't God and you don't really know everything, right? So you might not get the timing right, that it's not gonna leave immediately, but people have enough faith to say in 3 days, or later on at 3
Get
p.m.
worse.
it's gonna get worse. So take that, like we read yesterday, it takes the same amount of energy to fail as it does to succeed. Now take that same principle and apply it to this. It takes the same amount of energy to speak positivity and to speak encouragement and affirmation into your life as it does to speak the detriment, the defeatism, and the failure in your life. And the outcome is noticeably different based on how you perceive it. So there's just an inherent benefit in you having a positive take, or seeing the silver lining or the opportunity instead of the obstacle in your situation. That makes your quality of life better. That makes the quality of your day better. That makes your human experience better, when you're able to take something that you could have perceived as a negative and turn it to your positive. I promise you, the best gardens grow out of the smelliest manure, the smelliest fertilizer, right? There's a it's almost a Mexican proverb. It says that they tried to bury us, but they didn't know that we were seeds.
I like that.
You know, they tried to bury us, but they didn't know that we were seeds. So are you this seed that's like, oh no, they're throwing dirt on my name? I'm thinking, man, you throwing dirt on my name? I'm about to water that thing. I'm about to grow. We give me everything I need. I'm made from the soil.
We like the
You put
egg, right, with the poop still
Yeah,
on it.
you
We do
putting
our
me
best
on me,
work.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of times what we perceive is different from reality. But if we can perceive reality in a positive light, especially the reality that hasn't come to us yet, if we can project positivity or at least project a picture that serves us, then on the way to our destination, whatever that outcome is, on our way to that outcome, it's better for us. The experience is better. Our minds are more tuned and conducive to learning and adapting because we're not in a stressed state. You put yourself further and further into a stressed mind, further and further into your reptilian mind, where you're only working on impulse and not intellect, because you assumed and somewhat succumbed to this idea of a less than deserving or a fatal attraction, a less than deserving outcome. That is what the title is: a fatal attraction. You're attracting your defeatism. You're attracting the fatality of your goals. You're attracting the failure because that's what you're speaking on. Now, what if you change that and speak life? What if you talk to yourself positively? What if you encourage yourself instead of downing yourself? Because I know people, this is called psychosymptomatic, where people will think themselves into
Mhm.
illness.
Yes.
People can eat a piece of chocolate, like every time I eat chocolate, I get a headache,
You
right?
still eat the chocolate.
And they'll still eat the chocolate. But I really think that it has more to do with them thinking that they're going to have a headache than anything. There's this old, I don't want to run us too long, but there's when I took psychology 101 or 102 back in college, and they did this thing, where they would ring a bell, ding a ling a ling, and then they would feed the dog, ding a ling a ling, feed the dog. The next day, then the next day, ding a ling a ling, feed the dog, to the point to where they could ring the bell and not feed the dog, and the dog would salivate. They would just ring the bell and the dog would salivate. There's no food around. The dog ain't seen no food, ain't smelled no food. And they did it for days. Ding a ling a ling. The dog would still salivate and start to its mouth become watery and start to drool because it's preparing to eat. Its digestive system is preparing to ingest some type of food, even though there's no food there, because it became a creature of habit. So if you're a creature of negative self-talk, of fatally attracting the things that you really don't want,
That's
then
right.
that's something that you have to unlearn. That's something that you have to make a decision to try something different. You have to make that decision and purposefully, purposefully say no. I'm going to talk to myself in a positive fashion and speak only the things that I truly desire. But that takes reflection, that takes time, that takes awareness of self to even know what you truly desire in that situation. Maybe you just don't want to go to work. You know what I mean? Maybe you
Mhm.
don't like your job. Maybe that's why you're getting sick when you come in, and maybe that's why you got a headache when you're coming in. You don't know. Maybe when you leave at 5 o'clock, you'll be just fine. You know, maybe the environment is making you sick, and you're just blaming it on something else. Like, take assessment, take inventory of yourself and your situation to see, are you making yourself sick? And I think in a lot of instances, illnesses and disease isn't just things that we see physically, but it could be mental. And I think this is a mental disease. This is a mental health issue. To talk to yourself negatively, to speak without surety and positivity in your situations because we have a negative outlook potentially on ourselves. This is a mental health
Mhm.
situation,
Yes.
and we got to call it what it is. So that's all I got for you, Mom. I ain't gonna sit here and talk about
So, yeah, as we work to bring it to a close, do you have any comments on Instagram? I'm going to go through these really quick. Of course,
it. I
Mike,
don't.
Okay. Is it up and going? Is it
It is. My people, they on the weekends,
it's Saturday? Gotcha.
boy, they ain't getting up at
Um,
7 a.m.
so
But y'all
good
need
morning again, Mike and Miss Brenda. Thank you guys for always rocking with us and being here right when we start. Leo Barney, all the way from North Carolina, says good
Leo. What's up,
morning.
Mr. Leo?
Can't call it, Mike Spollet is in the house this morning. Trent Williams, and he says agreed. So he's agreeing to something there, and then the work must be done first. Yeah, you do have to turn that mirror inward, right? You got to turn it in, and you got to keep it in, keep it in. It could be two sided if you want, so the people can see themselves. Hey, that's a good one, but you got to keep looking in yours, right? We need some two
Yeah.
sided mirrors, so when you're looking at me, you really seeing you, right?
Right. Right.
So I want to end with this, and I'll post this out there sometime today. Um, Words are potent weapons for all causes, good or bad. Words, like nature, half reveal and half conceal the soul within. Words, so innocent and powerless as they are, as standing in a dictionary, how potent for good and evil they become in the hands of one who knows how to combine them. I almost want to read it again, but I'm gonna post it so you guys can read it. The power of the spoken word is one of life's greatest mysteries. All you will ever be or accomplish, all you will ever be or accomplish hinges on how you choose to govern what comes out of your mouth. And remember, we had one the other day. You'd rather govern yourself, what was it, Brandon, properly or improperly, rather than be governed by someone else, right?
Right.
So the
Right.
power of the spoken word is one of life's greatest mysteries. All you will ever be or accomplish hinges on how you choose to govern what comes out of your mouth, right? So a thought reap an action, so an action reap a habit. So a habit we reap character. We sow character and then we reap our destiny. And remember, this book says if there's any power that can reverse the fortunes of race, it is character. And I'm talking about right now the racism that you have against yourself.
Mm.
The racism that you have against yourself is what allows you and causes you to say, oh, this cold, it's going to get worse in 3 days. Oh, my situation ain't going to get no better. This is it. This is life for me.
Mm.
Right? So I'm talking about the racism that you have for yourself.
Mm.
How do you motivate yourself? How do you assess yourself? How do you talk to yourself? So instead of, I'm tired. So as you go about today, the assignment is change your words, speak life. Because fatal is just saying it's inevitable. So if it's inevitable in your mind, in your words as well, it's a wrap. Just quit. Just quit. But just know it takes the same energy to quit as it does to keep going. And I assure you, if you keep going, you will get there. But if you stop, you will stay right there where you are. So, fatal attraction or not. But the truth be told, Brandon, whichever it is, it's what has all to do with
You.
you. That's all
Well,
I
guys,
have.
that's the show today for the 80th installment of the End This Season podcast. Thank you so much, Mom. I appreciate you. The beautiful, the transformative, the motivating, the encouraging, the contemplating butterfly. Um, so I appreciate the words that you shared with us today. I appreciate you doing this show consecutively, giving it that effort for free. I appreciate just everything you do for me and my family. So shout out to you. I love you. I wanted to say that.
Love you
You look
too.
like you have something. Uh-huh.
Your daughter yesterday, last
What
night,
she? Oh
had the
Lord,
babies last night.
what she do?
So I said, "Ooh, I just got a word for myself, y'all." I told her, I said, Grandma's tired. Grandma's got to get up in the morning, Zolly. She was like, "You got to go to work with Daddy?" She calls this work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she calls it work, and then she wanted to know if she could if she could watch it, if she could see it. So yeah, she's like, "You got to go to work with Daddy." So she's got it that we get up in the morning and do this, but she sees it as working.
You know what I'm gonna do? I might have to show her on YouTube one of these videos on just like throughout the day. And
Yeah,
she gonna be like, Daddy, Daddy, you right
yeah,
here. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's funny. Sometimes
yeah. She,
I'll show her a fight on there or something, but and she's like, "What? Is that?" So now every time when she sees a MMA fight, she's like, "Is that Daddy? Daddy, you look different." You know, I'm like, "No, baby,
yeah,
that's not me. That's some
yeah.
Brazilian dude up there." But
Kids are like to me nature. Like they will they will teach you so much. You made me think about. We really got to go, and I'm shut up. The day I had her out walking, and she was one, look, maybe one, just love, just starting to walk, and she saw the guy mowing the lawn, and she said,
mm-hmm,
"Grandma, look, it's a daddy." You remember I
mm,
told you about that?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So just the perception, the man, a father, her telling me about, you can't, don't ask my dad for my mom for money. You got to get it from my dad. All those little things. They just, I don't know. They create thought. They allow me to think and still grow
And
from the
to
matter
analyze
of
kind of the things
age.
that are so
Right,
mundane and normal
right,
to us, but are so new and novel to them, makes
right,
us look at these old situations and these social norms that we might have, or just familial norms,
right.
as something new. We might see it in a different light because to them it's brand new. So
Brand
they
new.
see it. They see it so dynamically and full of wonder. And to us, we're just like, oh, that's just Brandon going out to work. That's just how we do it. But I appreciate hearing it from you because I can see it through a different lens, and it
Hmm.
encourages me to continue in the way that we've been doing, to give her that sense of what are the bricks and the components and ingredients to a family unit,
Right,
right? And how this thing sticks together. What's the glue to it all? What does daddy do? What does mommy do? And people can come up with their own ways of doing that, but for my family, this is how we do it. This is normal for us. This is the guidance that we have acted on from God and the prophets and things that we've researched or whatever, and we've decided and made a choice with a specific goal, on how we're going to achieve it. Like this is our methodology. This is our mo, right? And I
right,
pray that it's a benefit to her, and that she's able to make the unit even better with her future family, God willing. You know what I mean?
right, right.
So thank you, Mom, for
Yeah,
sharing that.
yeah. You're welcome. It's. I feel led to bring this up because you guys, we do have men and fathers out there. Um, so this particular day, I was going to ask. I had left my wallet home, and I had the kids, and was coming back home, and I was like, I should have asked your mom to just give me some money. I could have cashed apped her, so I could have stopped and got something to eat. And Dolly says, oh no, you can't ask my mom for money. Ask my dad. And I called Sella, and Sella explained to me because I thought it was kind of funny. And so Sella explained that they make sure that the kids understand that dad's going to work to provide for us so that we're taken care of. We have the things that we need. So often in coaching, I hear, particularly and outside of coaching, just from the world, from mostly men who did not understand their father's absence. And the father is looking at it like, I was there. I was working so that you could do these things. You could have these things. And it's so important to help our young kids understand in their language what's happening around the house. Like Zolly told me, Grandma, you're wasting water because I left the water running.
Mm, hmm, hmm.
She said, you're wasting water, right?
Yeah,
So they can teach us, they can teach us better. If we teach them, they can teach us because they're not scarred right now, right? They're
right.
free. They don't have all the past to judge this day by,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
there you go. Gotta go.
I'll say this: my children have taught me how to be a better father.
Yeah.
My children have taught me how to be a better father. And, like the thing about running water. So there's everything, I won't say everything, but we try. Our intention is to do things based on guidance that we've gotten, right? And there's a bit of guidance in the hadith or the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, where there was a situation where he said, don't waste water, even if you live next to a river. Even if you live next to a running river, don't waste water. Right? So when we make wudu, or we wash ourselves before we pray, same way Jesus did, same way all the prophets did, they would wash themselves, their hands, their feet, their face, their nose, their mouth, their head. They wash or purify themselves in that sense before they prayed. When we do that, we do our best to not turn on the water at high and it just bless in a bunch of water, right? We do our best not to. We put it down to just enough water that we need, and then we wash. Just enough water that we need, and then we wash. Because we remember that principle of not wasting water. So there's, even inside of our spirituality, there's environmentalism. There's conservationism. We're protecting the resources that God has given us on this earth to a point to where we're not overusing and extracting too much from this earth, so that we can walk gently upon the earth. We can be maintainers and caretakers of the earth. And so everything that we do, or even me going to work and coming back home, if I have some food, I come home and I'm like, Daddy bought you some food. Daddy worked and got some food home so everybody can eat today. And Kesali, now if I come in with a bag of food or even with groceries or anything, she'll run up to me and be like, Daddy worked, got some money, and then went to get some food. Thank you, Daddy. Like she's happy. She's putting it together, and then she's saying it back to me for confirmation to say, do I have this right? So you got this because you did this and this and this, right? And if Tupac, my son, sees me getting ready to go in the morning, he's like, where you about to go, Daddy? You going to work? You going to build a fence? You going to get on the computer? Can I go too? He'll start getting his shoes. He'll go look for his tool belt, which he had. I don't know if you saw him. They got these little tool belts.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
I seen it.
And so he'll go wanting to get his tool belt and wants to go to work with me. Or if I go in the backyard, he wants to go out there and work too. So I'm going to
And
have to
he's
figure
actually
out.
said that he wants to go so that he can make some money and buy him some ice cream. I'm going to go to work
Yeah.
with Daddy so I can get some money and buy me some ice cream.
Yeah. So it's not just give me, give me, give me, give me. It's let me go work for it so I can get it
Right,
myself. And I
right,
think at 3 years old, I mean, you can't beat that. You
right,
can't beat that. So,
right.
all right,
So,
y'all, let's get up out of
thanks,
here.
y'all. Let's do the reading.
Let's do the reading. So we end this the same way every single day, by reading the title, reading the quote, and reading the affirmation itself 3 times. Title and quote once, and then the affirmation 3 times. So the title for today on April the 20th is Fatal Attraction. And the quote of the day by Helen Carey, Minister of Christ Universal Temple, is, the only way to catch a cold is to chase one. Are you chasing colds? Are you asking for something that you really don't want? Was the first sentence of the passage. And the affirmation that we will read 3 times. One for me, one for you, and one for the person that I know and trust and believe that you're going to send this to. We're speaking positively. Is, I will speak only those things that I truly desire. I will speak only of those things that I truly desire. And last time, say it internally or externally. I will speak only those things that I truly desire. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Mom. Thank y'all for rocking with us again on another show, 80th day. We'll be here tomorrow for the 81st, God willing. And carry this throughout the day. Practice it, repeat it, say it, write it down. Come back tomorrow. I really want to know in the comments when y'all first sign on. Let me know what today did for you. Let me know what this affirmation did for you. Okay?
Yes.
Y'all participate, okay? We need to know.
Right.
All
So I'm
right?
not hungry. I'm not tired. I'm going to get some rest. I'm not hungry. I'm going to eat. Just as some examples. So think about your words today. And
Yeah.
I will put those out there right now. I'm going to go ahead and do that now, the things that I shared. Okay.
All
Y'all
right. Well, thank
be
y'all.
great.
Y'all have a good one.
Peace.
Peace. Go out there and be great.